Sometimes the issue isn't local tissue damage. Sometimes it is system-wide communication interference. And the full body reset is about restoring coherence across the body's electrical network. Today we're going to talk about something simple, powerful, and often overlooked. And this is how to perform a full body reset using the Scalar Qi, and why this matters. Now, many clients come in with stalled progress, with persistent inflammation, with EMF sensitivity, more and more common nowadays, nervous system dysregulation, or just a general sense that their healing feels blocked. They're not going anywhere. Sometimes the issue isn't local tissue damage. Sometimes it is system-wide communication interference. And the full body reset is about restoring coherence across the body's electrical network. Now, before we discuss placement, and I do have slides, we need to understand the why. Because the body is not just biochemical, it is bioelectrical. Nerves fire electrically, cells maintain voltage gradients, healing requires electrical signaling, communication between systems depends on a coherent energy flow. And when communication becomes disrupted, whether this is from inflammation, from stress, EMF exposure, trauma, or even overload, we see this sluggish healing and increased discomfort rear its head. Fatigue begins, and the nervous system becomes harder and harder to regulate. Now, Scalar technology works by supporting the body's electrical communication network. As I'll talk about in the slides, by using Scalar at key energy centers, we can reset areas that may be blocking proper energy channeling through the body. This isn't about forcing change, it is about restoring communication. Now, specifically, we use the chakras for this. Why? Well, there are three major energy centers of the chakra that seem to have bridging points for this energy core. And this is the root, the solar plexus, and the third eye. And whether you think of these as neurological hubs or not, they represent major regulatory centers of energy in the body. The root, or the pelvic area, governs grounding and stability. It influences circulation to the lower body, and it's associated with survival stress patterns, which would be all about your nervous system. When this area is dysregulated, people may feel anxious. They could feel inflamed. They could feel ungrounded. The solar plexus is kind of your core area here, and it regulates digestion and inflammation. This is key to an inflammatory response, is your digestion. And the central hub of the autonomic nervous system is here as well, thanks to the vagus nerve and everything that it does. And the solar plexus also influences immune function. So whether you have an autoimmune issue or you have a weakened immune system, this is often where you can see the blockages that need to be moved out of the way for healing to occur. And then we will go to the third eye and the brain, and this coordinates the entire nervous system. It integrates the sensory input, and it regulates the circadian rhythm. This is your command center of your body. So by deliberately, intentionally targeting these 3 points in sequence, we're kind of creating a reset of the system. So let me share my screen here, and you can take a look at the actual protocol. So looking into resetting the body, we call this a full body reset. And typically we wouldn't use the chakras when it comes to this sort of device. We don't usually use the scalar on chakras deliberately. We typically use PEMF or microcurrent on chakras. But in this case, we're using these again as these strategic points. These key energy centers, by treating these, we can actually work to reset the areas that block the channeling of the energy throughout the body. Just for reference, you can see on the image here, you've got your root chakra down here, your solar plexus in the center, and then you've got your third eye on the brain. Now, third eye is right in the center of your forehead, and I will show this with my Scalar Qi in a minute here. But what you're really looking at doing is you're setting your device to any program. And this is an important distinction with scalar versus microcurrent, is our microcurrent devices produce our scalar energy, But the scaler actually doesn't care about the frequency you use, whether you're using 7 to 12 hertz, which is the most common, or you're using blue stimulation or Staniserv 350. It's taking that energy level and it's reducing it to create a 0 point field. Ultimately, a PEMF or an EMF area of near zero. And this is actually helping to clear blockages and revitalize the area. So this is why we use this, and it is so powerful and so simple to use. Being that this can by itself unblock healing at a cellular level, it can be critical for anyone looking to unblock some sort of chronic issues in their clients. The best part about this too is it's really easy to do. Whether a client is fully clothed or they're wearing a gown, you're able to access the chakras through the front of the body with the scalar. So you can have them lay down and hold the scalar in place over their areas of the root, the solar plexus, and the third eye for roughly 3 to 5 minutes at a time. You do want to make sure you increase the power to maximum, and then you move to the next one. Now, we will typically move from the root chakra down at the pelvis to the core, the solar plexus, and then the third eye on the brain. But honestly, the order isn't as important as it may seem. I do think, typically I like the idea of the root of something. The root chakra can impact all the others above it, and the solar plexus the same. So I do think going up is a smart move. Now, I have here a Scalar Qi in my hand, and so I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here. So I don't have a Scalar Qi on hand, but I use a Scalar Qi because it has a Scalar Qi mode within it. And this is actually really useful to be able to switch between different tools and get these activated. So I'm just going to set mine up. Let's grab my wire here, just so that I can show you how this works. So once you've got your wire in, you lock it in place. There we go. You twist it so the wire doesn't fall out. You can plug it into any of our microcurrent devices. I'm going to use my pinnacle here. Turn the pinnacle on and turn the Scalar Qi on. There's a switch on the side of the Scalar Qi. If you have a Scalar Qi, you will plug it in the same way, but you won't need to turn it on. It's got enough power from this. It doesn't need its own battery. Now you'll see by default, my Scalar Qi is on Scalar Qi mode, but if I press the mode button, it will switch to a PEMF, and I want it on scalar for this. So then what I can do is I can place it on these different points. Just this is the solar plexus core point, for example, and I can set my mode to whatever I would like it to be on. I'm going to go with 7 to 12 hertz because that is my comfort zone with anything. And I'm going to increase the power to maximum by holding the plus button down. Now, this is to maximum or until I can feel something. And depending on EMF exposure, people can sometimes feel the energy of scalar as it's being generated. But in this case, I made it to 250 power. I'm sure if you'll be able to see that. You care. And I'm not feeling it, so that is good. So with this in play, the only thing to note about this is that the Scalar Qi has lights. You don't want to look directly in these with your eyes, but when you're doing the third eye, you're placing it here, so you're not actually seeing any of the lights. So there's no issue with that. Obviously, the Scalar Qi does not. The reason you don't want to look in this is not that the blue and the red light are harmful. It's that there's infrared light in here as well. So you're getting all the benefits of the lights as well as the scalar and the Via Qi. Now, just doing 3 to 5 minutes on that pelvis, core, and brain, and that's all it takes to perform a full body reset. And knowing what that can do for your body, knowing how much that can help accelerate the healing process, it is a tool that if you have it, you should be using it on your patients. It can truly make a major difference for any of these blockages. Think of it as something that you can do if you run into a wall with someone where you're like, what is going on here? This is one of those treatments, and it does work extremely well and very effectively. So thank you everyone for joining me. Hopefully you found this useful. You'll be able to reference this in an ongoing capacity if you did. But as you saw, scalar energy is so simple to apply that it really does just assist in the therapeutic setting. Thanks everyone. I'll see you next week for another 10-minute training. Bye-bye.